name is Nuria Simiti Zaidi. Our case study is the production of acetylene by partial oxidation of hydrocarbon feedstock. In this chapter, I will be presenting about the introduction and also the objective of the project in terms of process safety management. As we all know, process safety is divided into three aspects, which includes the safety of the workers, the environmental effects, as well as the safe operation of plant and machineries. This is important because we want to reduce the occurrences of the accidents as well as the consequences towards humans' health and also environmental effects. So, the objective for this project is to study the possible hazards for our selected separation unit, and then we will conduct the hazard studies on the distillation unit as well as to provide the recommendation for our possible hazards.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all. My name is Arif Aizat Rosman, and today I will be further explaining to you about the next chapter which is called Hazards of Distillation Column. In this chapter, we mainly focus on the distillation column because, as we all may know, distillation column is a very popular and demanding separation unit in the chemical engineering industry. Although distillation is considered the best technology for solvent recycling, but it uses a very high amount of energy. This is the reason why we need to handle this separation unit with great care. So there are a few numbers of possible hazards that may impose on the distillation column unit. Firstly, in fire and explosion hazard, this hazard should be considered for distillation because it is one of the most severe causes of accidents in the chemical engineering industry. Some issues regarding this matter usually happens when there is a generation of distillate with an auto ignition temperature below the boiling point. So not only that, it is also happening because of the spillage of flammable material. In our case, in this project, our focus is to produce acetylene. So acetylene by nature is a very flammable material. So when there is a spillage of this material, whether it is from a hole or from a leak, and it comes into contact with an ignition source such as sparks or forced electrical appliances, there will be fire and consequently explosion will happen. The second hazard that may affect our overall process unit is pressure hazard. So in regards to pressure hazards, there are two main parameters that we need to look at. Firstly is the overpressure, and secondly is the underpressure. So as we all may know, and as stated before, acetylene in nature is very flammable. But not only that, acetylene is a gas compound that usually operates under high pressure, so the risk of an explosion might happen. Distillation column presents a hazard in that they contain large quantities of flammable boiling liquids, usually under pressure. So there are many possible of severe accidents that may occur.
Hi, my name is Sahira and I am going to explain on the hazard analysis of distillation column inside the acetylene production plant. So for your information, there are actually a lot of study notes for this unit, but I am going to focus only on two, which are the stream in general and also the distillation column itself. So for the first example, I am going to focus on the flow parameter inside the stream. So in case of no flow, so it might happen because of a big leakage or blockage inside the pipeline. So when it happens, it will cause an absence of flow of feed or also product. So in order to overcome this potential hazard, we can do an optional stream or an emergency stream, and we also need to do a regular maintenance towards the pipeline. But in case of more flow or high flow, it usually happens because of high velocity flow rate of stream. So when it happens, it causes flooding, and we can actually control this potential hazard by installing high flow level alarm. So when this happens, we can actually be immediately notified through this alarm for further actions. And for the second example, I am going to focus on the pressure parameter inside the distillation column. Okay, in case of high pressure, there are the possible causes is because of the high feed inlet high pressure at the feed inlet of distillation column. So when this happens, it will cause an increase in pressure or overpressure that can cause a rupture of vessel. So in order to overcome this problem, we can actually do installation of high pressure alarm, so that when the pressure inside the vessel is too high, we will be notified immediately and we can take further actions as soon as possible. So these are the two examples of hazard analysis that has been done to this unit.
Hi and hello, my name is Ahmad Iqbal Imran, and for now I will explain about the recommendation that can be used to improve the safety aspect for the distillation column. So there are two major factors that should be taken care while using distillation column. There is the temperature and also the flow rate of the composition. So whereas the component that we use for this project is acetylene, that is classified as a flammable gas, so therefore concentration of the mixture and also the ambient temperature is important in this process. But firstly, the basic safety steps must always be practiced in using any type of equipment, such as screening, cleaning, regular maintenance, as well as provide fire extinguishers if it is involving fire hazard process, like in this process acetylene. The additional safety precautions that can be implemented is by installing minimum and excessive flow valve that can ensure the instrument operate with optimum flow rate. Next, installing temperature indicator and also temperature limiting alarm also help the operators to do early prevention from any worst incidents to occur during their process plan. So an optional or bypass streams also provide choices for operators to keep continuing their separation process even during any leakage of streamlines or malfunctioning equipment. These steps can be applied. The safety of the instruments, the workplace, and also the employees also can be improved.
As conclusion, any separation process, including this distillation column, should be taken care seriously, especially if the process involving hazardous component. Hazard identification and safety analysis should be implemented in order to identify possible hazard, thus reducing the risk of injury and accident. Last but not least, as fire hazard is the major hazard of this distillation column, safety precautions such as cleaning and screening equipment thoroughly, monitoring process properly,